Today on Speak On It, we're diving into the story of a man who's lived more than one lifetime, from touring alongside some of hip hop's biggest names, going from cameraman to manager, which I can't wait to hear that story, to facing a life-altering health crisis that completely changed his perspective. He rebuilt his body, his purpose, his mission, and driving over 100 pounds, completing an Ironman and turning that same drive into impact. He's gone from managing 2 Chainz and Travis Porter to managing Hope and creating a movement that's touched lives all over the world. This is the evolution of Charlie Rocket, the dreamer who refused to quit. Charlie Rocket is about to speak on it. You want to give you a little speak on it? I'm hoarse today, so I can't hit the speak on it for you.
I'm not. I don't think I'll be able to pull it off.
How are you doing?
I'm on a winning streak.
I see. You know what? And I love that you said that because I feel the same way. Like, I tell my producing partner, Brian Moreland, shout out to you, who we produced all of the shows that I've done on Broadway as a producer together. And he and I always tell him, #win. Hey, we winning every time. That's all, #win. So you say you just in your winning season? Like, what is it?
Yeah, when you're on a winning streak and you decide to be on a winning streak, you start looking for more wins, and then you live in a state of constant gratitude. And then when you're winning, no matter if something bad happens to you, you start finding the wins and the losses. And then you turn those losses into wins because 2 L's equals a W. So you can't lose.
I love that.
Now
I never even thought about that.
A lesson learned is a W. And you just keep on winning. And so I wake up every morning and I get my cup of coffee and I'm like, I'm on a winning streak. And then I catch the green light and I make sure I acknowledge that as a win or a good parking spot, or I get to get a DM from you and get to sit here, which is a really big win. And
how do you figure this is a really big win with everything that you're doing right now?
Well, you're such a legend and you have such a big platform, and I don't even look at it as just a win for me. I look at it as a win for somebody who's listening, who might be going through something, and this might have just been the message they needed to hear. So it's a win.
Well, I definitely feel like you have a message that I feel that the people that watch Speak On It would love to hear, because you have done so much. So, okay, you was about to tell us a story. We knew each other years ago. My memory is always horrible. I know we knew each other before, but I didn't know the time or the place. So please tell the people.
At the time, I was living in my mom's basement, and I was just a dreamer trying to get a business off the ground. And I was a cameraman, and I had a website called spityourgame.com. And I had the opportunity, and it was such a big deal to me to be able to be at Red Zone Studios, Tricky Studio.
Yes.
And I got to film you. And that was such a big deal for me as a young cameraman who had a little media outlet. And I was just so grateful because you were so nice to me. And I was like, wow, she's such a big celebrity. And you just allowed me to make a video about you. And so I want to say thank you for always being so nice. And that really, I don't know, that was a really cool moment in my life. And to be sitting here with you is a cool moment.
It's like a full circle.
I know.
Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, so you started out as a cameraman. But how did you even do that? Because it's a lot of people who would like to, at some point, start their own website or whatever. How did you even get the idea to do that? Because how old were you at the time?
About 16.
You were only 16?
When I started being a cameraman.
Okay.
Because I've always had a gift of listening to my heart. My heart will tell me where to go. How they say, follow your heart, or follow your dreams.
Yes.
And so many times we use our mind, but we don't say follow your brain. Our brain will talk us out of most things.
Right.
It will operate from this place of reality and logic and history. but our dreams are the future. And oftentimes it's very unrealistic. But when I was little, I walked into a basketball court and my heart lit up. And it was like my dream. But then I got to a certain age where I'm overweight as a child. And I need to be good at something because it's time for like girls. I want the girls to like me. And so like sports wasn't a thing. So I actually buried my dream. And there were these kids at school and they had these club jackets on with the embroidery on the back. And they were like a rap gang. And they were from the east side of Atlanta. And it said Da Fam. That was the rap gang.
What part of Atlanta were you from?
I'm from Chamblee, Georgia.
Okay.
So, but all the cool kids were from the other part of DeKalb County. And they would come to our school and they were rappers. And I looked at their jackets and I was like, I want to be a part of this. My parents, they really instilled a lot in me. They were vacuum cleaner salespeople. And I thought that was cool. I was like, y'all make money. Y'all don't have a normal job. Like my mom did have like multiple jobs and my dad would do multiple things as well. But I just liked being around money. It was interesting to me. Like the very first stock that I bought, I was like 8 years old and it was Nike, but I would like cut grass and my dad and my grandfather would always be in the kitchen arguing. And I was like, what are y'all arguing about? And they were debating like stocks. And like my family didn't make a lot of money. Like combined, like my parents never made more than like $40,000 a year combined, but they were into like investing and money. So I'm trying to pick up on all of this as a young man. And I want to buy a stock. So I bought Nike. And I've just always been into it. So at the time, I wanted to get into the music game. So I'm asking myself, how can I be of service? What do artists need? And I was like, I'm going to make a media outlet. That was my idea, to be like super rich. And all my friends are making like dance music. Crank that Spider-Man, crank that Batman, crank that everything. Yeah. And I'm filming them and I'm going all throughout Atlanta filming artists. And I got to end up at a open mic. This lady named Ravella. She had an open mic called Almost Famous, and Rock City was there, and Willie Joe and B.O.B. But this is before anybody was successful. And I'm like filming them, and I specialized in this one idea. If I film, I'm going to edit a video that night. So I'd leave the club at 1. I would go home and edit, and it would be ready, and everybody would post it on MySpace because I would move fast.
Yeah, you was the first to put it out.
The first one. And so my website started picking up traction in high school, and it was time for me to graduate, go to college, and my mom, who is here with us today, my mom said, if you don't go to school, you got to pay rent. Oh. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go to school. So I'm going to Georgia Perimeter College, and I know I'm not supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be CEO Charlie. Like I'm supposed to be a businessman. My website's taking off, but I'm not making money.
Right. Because that's what I was saying. I feel like we were a little ahead of the game in a lot of things. Because like I feel like I was doing podcasts before it was a podcast, but I didn't really know how to make money because when the first people that was doing, they didn't get the ads and all of that back then.
So when it was time to go to school, I found out that if you like sign up for school, they mail your parents what classes you're in, but you have 2 weeks and you can cancel the classes and they'll never tell your parents. What? So I'm faking kind of that I'm going to school, but I really canceled most of my classes and I'm just trying to build my website. And I knew the truth was going to come out eventually because when it was time to sign up for my second year of school, I was going to lose the Hope Scholarship. Oh. So my mom's going to know that I kind of like messed up my first year. Right. And I needed a miracle. I needed something to happen because I'm working my butt off. I'm chasing a dream. I feel out of alignment. I'm not supposed to be in school. Now I'm having to pay for school. I need a miracle. And I'm going to the college campus, signing up for my second year. And my phone rings. And I never in my life got a phone call. And the caller ID said Beverly Hills. It was a 310 number.
Okay, who was it?
It was a gentleman with the deepest voice I had ever heard. It sounded like the voice of God. He said, this is Brian Washington from Interscope Records.
Ooh.
I'm standing on campus. Yes, Mr. Washington, how can I help you? He said, we just signed an artist and he requested you to be his cameraman on his tour.
Oh.
I said, who's the artist? He said, Soulja Boy. I said, I know who Soulja Boy is. I would love this opportunity. And then like reality set in, and I knew I had to tell Mr. Washington, I need to ask my mom if I could drop out of school. And he
didn't say that.
He said, how old are you? I'm like 18. He said, okay, ask your mom and then call me back. So I go home to my mom's house, and my mom knows when the sales pitch is coming because she's a sales lady.
You're right.
So I know what's going to go through her head. Her little baby,
on the road,
hip hop, drugs, sex, violence.
Yeah.
So I have to stage this in a way. I said, Interscope called, and I'm not naming one rapper. I'm saying Black Eyed Peas, Gwen Stefani. These are the people who are signed to Interscope, not 50 Cent.
Yeah, none of that.
So my mom's always really believed in my dreams, but this was a lot different.
Yes.
Going on tour. And she was looking out the back window, the sliding glass doors, after I asked her. And she just stood there in silence. And she turned around and she said, when a door opens, you have to walk through it. She gave me her blessings to go on tour, but she said, you got to pay rent. so I said, why do I have to pay rent? I'm not even going to be. If your stuff is here, you got to pay rent. But my mom always instilled like this, like.
Yeah, responsibility.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm on tour with Soulja Boy, and that was a big opportunity for me because I always knew I was going to be a successful businessman. And this is it. This is the big one. People are looking at me as if I've made it. My media outlet, Soulja Boy, has the #1 song in the country. I got to see what was humanly possible in a very short period of time. From the first date of tour, we're at the Rose in Montgomery, Alabama, with in a minivan. And 2 months later, we're with Kanye West in the Hugh Hefner suite, performing at the VMAs. And it's like, we got the #1 song in the country. He has the #1 album in the country. And it's like, this is possible. So as just a young man, I'm seeing like what's possible.
Right.
And I'm very inspired, but it wasn't an easy time in my life.
So tell us about that.
So first I want to preface, I'm very grateful for Soulja Boy giving me an opportunity. But I'm grateful for the good and the bad. Because at this particular time in Las Vegas, I had actually not eaten in 3 days.
Ooh.
I was in this tough place in life where I didn't want to beg for my paycheck or my per diem, which I wasn't getting, but because I wanted to be a boss. So I'm not going to beg for it. I don't want to act like I'm struggling. Right. And then I'm also not going to call home to my mom because I don't want her to think something's wrong on the road. Right. So it's like at that time, it'll be like, you would have to send me a Western Union. Right. So I'm in Vegas and I haven't eaten in 3 days. And it's a very dark time because I'm not treated properly. And Soulja Boy called me to his room. We're staying at the Bellagio. And he wanted to make a really like viral video. And he said, come to my room. I'm about to order some room service. And he ordered $1,000 worth of room service. And when he was done, there was so much food left over. I was excited. I said, I saw some chicken fingers. And I was like, can I get those? Because I'm hungry. I'm really, really hungry. And he said, yeah, have whatever you want. And then he got up and he spat on the food. And it was something that I had never witnessed before. But I'm very grateful for like these moments because it taught me how never to treat people like when they work for me. Yeah. And when I started a management company and whatnot, I made sure people were paid on time. So I'm very grateful. And he was just a kid. He was a kid. But I never wanted to kill somebody before in my life. And it was a very frustrating time.
Yeah.
But I always was told by my grandfather that presents are delivered in the dark. And in this time, I'm at the airport, leaving Las Vegas, and I'm sitting on the ground, and my head is in between my knees, and I'm just so hungry. And this lady, she walked up to me, and she gave me a $20 bill. And she said, God told me to give this to you.
Oh, wow.
I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And I'm like, how did she know? And I went and bought a Subway sandwich. And shortly after this, on October 4th, 2007, I'm supposed to go to the airport for the DJ Fallon show. Not DJ Fallon, for the Jimmy Fallon show.
Jimmy Fallon.
And I didn't get the itinerary. And so the next morning, I just go to the airport because every morning we fly out. And I'm in the airport for about 4 hours and nobody's answering my phone calls. And I think I realized in that moment, like, I think I'm just fired. Like, ice machine. Very cruel way of being.
They didn't even say anything.
Nobody.
Did you ever get the money that you were owed?
I did get the money that I was owed.
Okay, at least you got your money.
because Soulja Boy was signed to a very reputable company, College Park Music. So it was like they did what was right. I was owed money, but it was very odd at the time. Like, I just didn't know I was fired. It was just, I'm at the airport, I get back on the MARTA bus, and I go to my mom's house, and I told my mom, I was like, I think I'm fired. And she got a little sad and was worried. And I said, no, don't be sad. Like, this is a blessing. This is a winning streak. She's like, what do you mean? I said, Ma, I'm the lowest paid person on the team. Now I'm about to be the highest paid person on the team. She was like, excuse me? I said, I'm going to be a manager. She was like, you know how to manage artists? I was like, well, I'm the cameraman. So me as a delusional optimist, remember, like, these L's are really W's.
Okay.
I'm a delusional optimist that I'm the cameraman. I've been in every room, so I know how the game works.
Yeah, and you're privy to what everybody's talking about, the deals they making, what they're saying.
And I know how to make artists famous. Most managers don't know how to do it with their own two hands. They have to make phone calls. I have a media outlet. I have a YouTube channel. I have a website. I have the skills to edit. I know how to edit a video and get millions of views. I'm going to be the best manager in the world. And I probably would have never quit this job. It was so cool. So he really did me a favor. And now that I look back on it, all the times I was treated poorly, it was a gift because now I know how to treat people properly.
Right.
And it's like, no, I'm going to manage artists. But once again, presents are delivered in the dark.
Right.
Times after this actually got worse.
Okay.
As a dreamer, you dream really big.
Right.
But reality oftentimes sucks. Today, people always say, like, you should live in the moment. Living in the moment sucks. So I formed this gift of, like, living in the future. I try to live there today because if I have hope, it will make today manageable. Right. And if I'm looking at what's reality in today in my life, I'm going to believe I'm a loser. So it's like, those are very, like, bad thoughts. Like, when things are going wrong, like, you think bad thoughts.
Yeah, everybody does.
And it's like our mind is dirty. And it's like, if your hands are dirty, what do? You have to wash them. You wash your hands. So I got very good at brainwashing myself. And that's not like a bad thing. It's like, I'm just trying to be optimistic enough to believe that everything's about to change, even though everything is crashing in front of me. And I found myself in New Orleans passing out flyers for NBA All-Star after party for like $50. And I was thinking, like, just a couple months ago, I'm in Vegas with Kanye West and we got the #1 song in the country and I'm just passing out flyers for a party. But a gift was delivered in this moment. What? Because there was this artist that I was filming and he was talking to this girl that he liked and she was in a rap group. What? And he showed me her music video. And when I saw it, I was like, that's going to be my group. Ooh. It was called Vistoso Bosses. It was
Bestow
a there were these two girls,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like the teenage female version of Outkast. It was
okay.
they're the future
Yeah.
in my eyes, and my heart lit up, and I went and I signed them. And then College Park and Interscope Records signed them 24 hours after I signed them to management.
Okay.
And CEO Charlie is back. And I'm getting them shows. We're starting to move around. We're building a fan base. We're in Washington, D.C. doing a show, and they get off stage and they just cuss me out.
Why?
They say, "You didn't give us water." I'm like, what am I dealing with here? I'm like, "Excuse me?" And we go to the airport, and they won't even stand beside me.
Why?
They needed something to be mad at, and I guess they found it. But come to find out, somebody was in their ear.
Trying to manage it. And that happens all the time in the business. It's like you start investing into an artist and they start getting shiny and flashy and everybody see them now, so everybody trying to get them from you.
And they in that airport,
they fired you.
I'm fired again.
So, okay, so what's the next artist?
Well, I go back to my mom's basement. And I told Mom, I said, "I don't know how this is a win, but I know there's a win in this." I said, it might be a blessing because I wasn't enjoying it. Everybody was always mad at me. It was like, it just wasn't in alignment.
Well, management is actually the hardest job you can have in the business.
I found out. But there was this group that they would always listen to in the car. And at the time, nobody really sang rap. Like Kilo Ali was years before.
Right.
But there were these kids on the east side of Atlanta, and they were really bad singers. But the kids in the skating rink liked them. And their name was Dem Hard Hitters.
Okay.
And they had these squeaky voices. And I went to them, I said, "You know what? I want to sign y'all." And I said, "But we got to change the name." So they came up with a name called Travis Porter. And
oh, wow.
We're recording on a $100 microphone with a grandma's quilt hanging from the ceiling in my mom's basement. And we're working our butts off every day. And I had about $100 to my name. And no money was coming in. And I needed something that I could do to really make them blow up without money. So I came up with this, I call it a play, where on MySpace, I would leave 500 comments a day on people's MySpace pages. And we worked our way all the way up to the #1 unsigned group on MySpace. And then once money started coming in, started pressing up CDs. And I pass out CDs outside the club every single night. And everything just took off. We had a song called All the Way Turned Up.
Yes, I remember that.
Which was recorded in my mom's basement on a $100 microphone. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
And it took off, and everybody thought it was Travis Porter's song. And we finally got some notoriety, but it was really Roscoe Dash's song.
Right,
and it was taken away from us. All the shows stopped. We went broke again. So it's like we had took off.
So wait, I'm confused. They were on the song, but it wasn't their song.
I mean, we had a drug dealer investor. Okay, he loaned us $2,500 to press up CDs for Birthday Bash. Okay. I needed some money because I wanted to promote at Birthday Bash.
Right.
So he gave us $2,500. So he asked for a favor. He said, "I have a cousin. He needs a feature from Travis Porter." I said, "Yeah, no problem." So cousin, his name's ATL, comes over to my mom's basement, records a song. And then he says, "Can y'all put that song on the mixtape? We have a mixtape coming out." And I was like, "Sure. I mean, I guess we'll put it at the end somewhere, number 22 on the mixtape." We put out the mixtape, and I'll never forget. I'm on the east side of Atlanta, and I'm at a gas station, and I hear 4 cars playing this song at one time. 4 different. I'm like, I think we have a hit. And so everybody thought it was our song because all these artists sound the same.
Because it was on the mixtape.
It was on the mixtape. It was titled Travis Porter. But the artist's name was ATL, but we changed his name to Roscoe Dash. And it took off so big, so fast. And Roscoe was like, "I'm not getting the recognition I deserve. People think this is Travis Porter's song, but this is my song."
Right.
And so he left us in our camp. He took us off the song and put my arch nemesis on the song.
Who?
Soulja Boy.
Ah!
I'm like, and you know what's crazy is when Bestow fired me, they put Soulja Boy on their song. I'm just like, Soulja Boy just keeps on haunting me. But We were knocked down. We went broke again. We were getting show money. All the show money stopped, and me and my business partners, Tech and Al, we all gathered together and we said we got to start this engine back up. And it's very odd in dark times how blessings always come.
Always.
And Travis Porter's house just got robbed. Somebody ran into their house. Show money stopped. Everything was falling apart. And I was down in College Park, Georgia, at Mr. Hankey studio with College Park Music. And he told me about this kid who mixes songs for $50. I was like, what? There's a kid, like, I need to go talk to him. So I go to the studio over in West Midtown. He walks outside, and I just saw this like pain in his face. And I was going to give him a couple $100, but God told me, like, give him $500. And I didn't really have a whole bunch to give, but it was like that lady in the airport.
Yeah.
And so I gave him $500. And he said, man, you don't know how bad I needed this. He said, I've been sleeping on the couch. I'm like homeless. And I was like, can I hire you? Because we're recording in my mom's basement. Like, we need an engineer. Like, we record on GarageBand. We've been doing all this off of GarageBand and a $100 microphone. We need to step our quality up. So I hired him, and I'll pick him up every day. And we had this like little like studio. It was like a chocolate factory. It used to be like a chocolate factory. It was like a little house where they would make chocolate in Chamblee, Georgia, off of Peachtree Industrial. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I know what y'all are thinking. You making this stuff up? And one day, this young man who was sleeping on the couch, he brought an 88 keys keyboard to the studio. And we're kind of making fun of him. Like, what you got a keyboard for? Because he's just an engineer. We're like, why do you have a keyboard? He's like, I make beats. It's like, man, you don't make no beats. He's like, yeah, I do. And we're like, make something. One of the first beats he made. Want me to play it?
Okay.
I'm gonna play it. One of the first beats he made was this one. And remember what my grandfather said. Presents are delivered in the dark. Right?
Yes.
It's bad for all of us. Everything's falling apart. This is one of the first beats he made. You wanna see some ass? Top 10 record in the country. Next beat he made.
Hey.
Top 10 record in the country. And that song was called Bring It Back. And then he made a beat called Bring It Back times 1,000. And this was the song. Number 2 song in the country.
Wow.
Sometimes the blessings aren't going to come from somebody who's really successful. Sometimes the blessings are going to be from some genius that might be sleeping on the couch. And we can't overlook anybody. Like, there's a cameraman in this room right now who might be one of the most successful people in the game. I was a cameraman that was getting fired, and then I built one of the biggest management companies that had bigger artists than the artists I was working for. And so we can't overlook anybody, because a genius isn't a genius because of their bank account or their success. A genius is a genius because they were always a genius. We just have to see the beauty in people and believe in their dreams. And I look at that moment when I went to that studio as one of the greatest gifts in my life. I gave a little extra, and look at what came back to me.
Right.
Some of the biggest hit records I had ever had were given back to me. And that young man who was sleeping on a couch and changed my life, he went on to discover Post Malone and Iggy Azalea and signed Post Malone and became one of the most inspirational people to me in existence. So his name is Good Job First, FKI.
Yes.
Produced so many of the biggest songs in my life and other people's lives. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, the presents are delivered in the dark.
He and I did a song years ago. I still like that song. I never did. We did two. What was it? 2 songs? Yeah. And it's so funny. I guess it was prior to that point. He had already had some success. But like, I didn't even know all the things that he went on to do. You know.
He's so humble.
Yeah, he's super cool. Okay. So how did you build momentum from there to eventually creating Street Execs and working with 2 Chainz?
Well, I actually didn't create Street Execs.
Oh, okay.
Street Execs was started years before I even came into the picture. So Street Execs was a mixtape company, and there was a DJ named DJ Techniques. And when Travis Porter, so I was Travis Porter's manager in my mom's basement, and I'll never forget this day. Once again, presents are delivered in the dark. Let me tell you, I'm in my little office. I had this little office. My mom had a friend that had an office in Buckhead. He gave me like a little desk in there because I needed to be like CEO Charlie. And I'm in that little office, and my friend Meezy calls me. And he's now 21 Savage's manager. And he was always one. He used to be a rapper I used to film at spityourgame.com. And he called me. He said, Charlie, like something bad happened. I was like, what happened? He said, Young Dro just dissed Travis Porter. And we all look up to Young Dro. Like, Young Dro's like our idol. Like, there's not a person in Atlanta that does not love Young Dro.
Right.
And he's dissing my artist. And Meezy calls me. He said, this is bad. I said, this is great. He said, what? I said, people are going to know who Travis Porter is now. And I have the World Star Connect. So I took this Young Dro video and I sent it to World Star. Young Dro was in New York in a van, and he was dissing Travis Porter and Jay Money. And I sent it to World Star because I need people to know who Travis Porter is. So World Star posted. And then so I'm like telling Travis Porter, now we need to make our response record. So
Right.
we're going to like make fun of him for making fun of some kids. And we're going to like kind of clown him for being an old man. So it's like we get that on World Star. Next thing you know, Travis Porter has a name. And people are paying attention. All of our numbers went up. And it turned into a blessing because I got a phone call one day that was like, it was crazy to me. I got a phone call from DJ Techniques, the mixtape mastermind. Like, I've heard his tag a million times as a kid on all the mixtapes. And I had never talked to a big DJ before. And he said, Charlie, I really like what y'all are doing. I want to put a Travis Porter song on my next mixtape.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking my life is about to change. So I was like, I sent him the record. And about 4 days later, he calls me and he's like, Charlie, I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I'm trying to help you and you're not taking this serious. I was like, what? What do you mean? He's like, I asked you to send a song and you didn't send it. I was like, no, I sent it. I said, I must have spelled your name wrong. And I'm like so nervous. And so I was like, okay, how do you spell your name? Because Techniques is spelled with a K and a Z. So I'm like typing it again on the phone and my hands are like shaking because like this big DJ is like kind of mad at me. And so I tried sending it again and it didn't get to him again. And he's like, Charlie, like, he was just kind of frustrated with me. He's like, who is this kid? Like, why wouldn't he send the song? And I was like, I sent it. And so I just wanted to go meet with him. And he had an office over on Roswell Road. And I just fell in love. I just fell in love with Techniques. And he had a business partner named Al. And they had a big mixtape company. They had a store over on the east side of Atlanta. They had distribution.
Yeah.
And
a lot of those DJs was doing it like that back then.
And I was like, this is what I need in my life. Because I know the internet. And I know how to like get something started, but like they had relationships and they had expertise and I didn't. And so Tech became a DJ, and then his business partner Al did something that taught me a lesson that I think all of us can learn in business. He taught me a lesson. One day he pulled up in a van and I look at it. And I never seen him have a van before, but it was like a conversion van. This is before Sprinter vans.
Yeah.
And I said, what's that? He said, I just bought it. I said, why? He said, I'm going to be the road manager. I said, so you bought a van? He said, yeah, they need to look official. In this moment, like it was like a grenade went off in my brain. I was like, wow, like you're not supposed to ask for permission to be great. You need to put the cart before the horse to be great. And then if you put the cart before the horse, you really don't even need the cart because you got the horse and the horse is all you really needed anyways. And he went and bought a van And he's the road manager, Tech's the DJ, and we're growing. And Travis Porter, with the help of all the amazing people in our lives, D Leaks, he had the colleges, and it's time to grow the management company because we wanted to sign another artist. And Tech had a relationship with this guy named Titty Boy. And we all know who Titty Boy is, yes. But he just kind of seemed off limits because he was signed to Ludacris. He was in a rap group. So everybody knew he was a star. But I think that we were the only ones crazy enough to go attempt to make him a star. Tech invited us to a Lil Wayne Play a Circle music video shoot. And it was my first time being around Lil Wayne. And I was like, that's a superstar. But then I experienced something I had never experienced before. This guy walks in and the atmosphere in the room changed. I had never felt a feeling like that before in my life. I was like, oh my God, now that's a superstar. And when Titty Boy walked in, he was 6'5". He had so many chains on, and his style and his fashion. I'm like, this is a mega superstar. And my whole life, I've always had this like compass with my heart, and I was like, this is gonna be the big one. And so me, Tech, and Al, we approached Tit about managing him, and he looked at us more so as marketers. Like Tech knows how to DJ. He sees me passing out CDs outside the club. I do the internet thing. Yeah. And he looked at Rico Brooks as like, that's going to be my manager. Y'all going to be my marketing team. Right. And remember what Al did. He didn't ask for permission to be great. I was like, let's do that. We're going to act like the managers right now. There's a dream that we have, and it's not going to be given to us. So we're just going to take it. And we're going to take it through servitude. We're going to take it by just being great. Titty Boy has a dream. It's our job to make his dream come true. And that's what makes a great manager or a great business partner. And if we dedicate our lives to making other people's dreams come true, we will have all of our dreams come true. So we'll show up at the studio with a box of CDs. We're going to pass them out for you. And I remember Figure 8 nightclub. 2 Chainz is walking out the club, and it's raining. And I'm there in my Joseph A. Banks suit, chasing people down, passing out CDs. And Titty Boy's walking out the club, and he sees me passing out the CDs. And I could tell in that moment, he was like, okay, this is what it's like to be treated properly. Because, he had been in the game so long, and he never had his full opportunity to be great.
Where people were just focused on his future.
Exactly. And he deserved that. He truly did, because one of the most genius artists, I would say, in hip hop. So we would show up to the studio with a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day game plan. And we started bringing money in. And it just worked out that Rico stopped showing up to the meetings, and we were by default the managers. And we just didn't ask.
Now why would he just stop showing up to the meetings with such a big artist?
Well, it was just because I think that it was just kind of known that we in the meetings.
People start just calling y'all instead of calling me.
Exactly. It was never a problem. Like, we love Rico. Rico is like one of our best friends. But it was just we were bringing some money in. We were setting up some music video shoots. We were setting up radio, and so we were just ready to be great. And it just all worked out, and we all know the 2 Chainz story. And I'm just so glad that 2 Chainz got his opportunity, because I couldn't imagine hip hop without him. Right. There was one point in time where we were sent a report of the top 50 songs on Sirius satellite radio, and 2 Chainz was on 36 of them.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was just, as a cameraman who had been fired and had a vision. I even remember, like, when I was in middle school, there was this girl, she had a magazine, and she started making fun of me because I didn't know who the artists were. It was like a Source magazine, and she would point at it. Do you know who that is? I was like, no. She was like, you don't know who that is. And then her friends started laughing, and I just didn't like that feeling. And I made a promise to myself in that moment. I was like, I'm not just going to know who these people are. I'm going to make celebrities. And I'm going to be a part of this in a very big way. And I got to the point where I had one of the biggest management companies in hip hop, owned one of the biggest studios in Atlanta. We had Young Dolph, Travis Porter, 2 Chainz, Schoolie, Bankroll Fresh, R.I.P. Dolph and Bankroll. And we had websites and media outlets and merch companies, and we were one of the most innovative management companies. And I don't think Street Execs gets the flowers it deserves, because, I mean, we would do merch campaigns for our artists, and like 2 Chainz would make. You even wore one of the Dab and Santas for us. You helped us with that.
I did.
You helped us so much. And
no,
this was actually very interesting. When we sent you the merch, you moved the needle more than almost any celebrity.
Oh, thank you.
No, I remember on November 22nd, I thought of an idea. It hit me at.
That was my daughter's birthday.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that was a gift in my life, because an idea hit me.
What?
An idea hit me. Now, hold on. Okay. Presents are always delivered in the dark. It's a reoccurring theme. So I told 2 Chainz, I was like, I want to do your merch. The record label, they don't know how to do it. So I'm going to take over. And I convinced him to spend a whole bunch of money so we could do this big launch party. And 2 Chainz is like very conservative with his money. He's like, I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. But he's like, Charlie, I trust you. So we do right on Peter Street, big launch party. We do all this. And I probably spent about 40 grand. And I said, you're going to be rich. Don't worry. I'm getting you this money back. This is going to be big. And so launch his merch. Goodness. Website goes out, and I see there's thousands of people on the website.
That's good.
And I told the merch company that's producing everything, I said, get ready. Make sure the servers aren't crashing. This is going to be big. Website launches, and I'm waiting for the first sale to come in. And I see there's thousands of people on the site. After about 15 minutes, I called the merch company. I said, can you test to see if, like, what's wrong with the website? Because no sales have come in. And they did a test order, and my little Shopify app went ka-ching. I was like, test order came in. But I was like, we haven't made any sales other than that. I was like, something has to be wrong. And I know if 2 Chainz finds out we don't sell anything, he's going to be so mad at me. That day, we sold 8 shirts. And I'm thinking, oh, God, 2 Chainz is going to cuss me out. How do I explain this to him? We've spent all this money, and it's almost like an embarrassment.
Yeah.
And so he was he gave me a lot of grace. Thank you for giving me your trust and with your career. But I came back with another merch launch to try to figure out why we're not selling any shirts. We might have sold 4 shirts. Then another one, we might have sold another 4 shirts. And I'm like, why is nobody buying anything? And I'm sitting in my business partner Tech's car, banging my head against the window. And I was like, Tech, why can't I sell any shirts? He said, have you tried rolling out that shirt from our first album, the black one with the gold chains? I said, no, that's old. Like, he said, try uploading it and see what happens. I uploaded it. We sold like 100 shirts. I used to selling 4. I'm like, okay, this worked. Like, that little bit of win gave my brain momentum to believe it's possible. So then the next day, I was like, okay, it's getting closer to Christmas. What if I take an ugly Christmas sweater and put 2 Chainz on it with some snowflakes? Uploaded that. We sold like 400. I was like, okay, I'm on a winning streak. Got some momentum now. 2 Chainz isn't going to kill me. And the next morning, November 22nd, an idea hit me. I thought of this idea called Dab and Santa, where Santa Claus is doing a dab dance. And I called up Ricky Ruckus to design it. And he designed it in a couple hours, and I have a decision to make. I need to upload this to the website and to 2 Chainz' Instagram. But I know if I ask 2 Chainz for permission, he's going to think this is corny, and he's not going to want to do it. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it without telling him. Because I know it's going to work. But 2 Chainz, he's a street rapper. He's probably not going to want like this, like, corny kind of kid like Santa doing a dab. 2 Chainz wasn't even like a dab artist. That was more like the Migos and like Cap One and Skipper the Flipper. So I just did it. That lesson Al taught of like, don't ask for permission to be great. But I know I'm going to upload it, and he's probably going to cuss me out. I do know this. So I hit upload, and I don't know, it might have been 20, 30 minutes later. He calls me, and I'm bracing for impact because I did not ask for permission to do this. And he says, "What's this on my Instagram?" I was like, "Ugly Christmas sweater?" He said, "Two of my friends called me from the hood, from Old National, said they want one." I was like, "Bro, we've done like $10,000 in sales in the first 30 minutes.
Really?
And he said, "All right, just keep me updated." First day we did like 50,000. I mean, every day turned into like 100,000, 150,000, 200,000. And we came together and we started blessing people with the money. And like, thank you for supporting us. Because I remember like when you wore it, it was crazy. Like your sales for it went through the roof. I still have the picture on my phone. Like,
What?
like,
We get the picture in there.
no, she moved the needle more than anybody. It was you and Amber Rose. And we
Wow.
had everybody wear it. And I had 3 weeks to figure all this out. And we sold so many sweaters that the factories couldn't handle the orders. And now, like, I'm moving to Secaucus, New Jersey for like a couple weeks, living in a warehouse, packing orders myself, trying to make sure my artist career isn't ruined. Because if 100,000 people, no, it's over for 2 Chainz. It's over if I don't get these orders out. So it's like all this craziness happening, but we pulled it off, and we were able to make about 2.1 million in 3 weeks.
Off of some t-shirts.
But the lesson in it, there's a couple lessons in this. Is like, I had a vision. Reality smacked me in the face quite a few times, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. But sometimes you just need to ask somebody else. Like, I'm technically the e-commerce expert and the internet expert, right? But I'm just sitting in my business partner's car, banging my head up against his window, and he just gave me an idea. And he's not an e-commerce expert, but he said, "Why don't you try uploading that?" So it's like listening to people is so important. And we went on to build one of the most innovative merch companies, and the dad hats, and the CEO millionaire CEO, comma, OOO. So long story short, if you have a dream, you're going to be knocked down quite a few times. You just got to be crazy enough to believe that somebody's going to bless you.
Yes. Okay, so let me jump to you. Because I mean, we hear all that you were able to do for so many different artists and different things, but at some point you decided to focus more on yourself. So what happened?
I got sick. I got sick with a brain tumor at the height of my career. And it was a very scary time for me. I was in LA. I was actually at 2 Chainz' house. He just bought a house in Hollywood, and I went out there for a few months. And I'm 300 pounds, and I get out of my bed, and I reach down into the closet, and I passed out. And the next 4 days, it's like the world was spinning. I had like this crazy vertigo. And when I was in high school, I was first diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Oh, really?
But the medication was able to take care of it. At this point in time, I'm so unhealthy. I was a binge eater. I just couldn't control my addiction to food. Business was like a trigger for me. Like, success led to food, stress led to food, and just deal making and business in general. You would always like take somebody out to a lunch or to a dinner. Everything was just food, and it was a drug to me. And sometimes like I envy people who would like be addicted to, a regular drug, because you can quit that. With food, like, you have to deal with it every day. You can't like quit food. You have to face that addiction and temptation all day, every day. And I was so unhealthy that there was imbalance in my brain. And my brain tumor had grown, and me being sick and morbidly obese, I felt trapped. I felt trapped because my soul had a dream. And when you have a dream, you can't ignore it. It's always there. You could bury it, but it's never going away. And when I was a kid, my dream was to be an athlete. And I didn't choose that. It was just what I wanted. Remember my first stock that I bought? It was Nike. I love Nike. I wanted to be a basketball player. And so in this time, I was so scared. I was called to nature so much. And I would sit on the beach in Malibu for hours. And I would close my eyes. And I would look at my life as if it was a movie. And I realized how bad of a movie it was. Here's a kid that buries a dream, goes on to make a lot of money, and dies.
Dang.
That movie, if it was in theaters, okay, like 19 Rotten Tomato score. Like, not that good. I was like, what would be the good version of the movie? This kid who buried his dream went on to make a lot of money, got sick with a brain tumor, left everything to chase his original dream. I want to be an athlete. But hold on. Heart wants something. Brain kicks in. It's like, how are you going to make money? Well, what does being an athlete mean? Like, you can't make a living being an athlete. You're 29 years old. You're 300 pounds. Like, what is it? What do you mean? And so I shut my brain off. And I just got my brain working for my heart. You know what? You can't be an athlete. You know what? You can be a Nike athlete. And when I would close my eyes, I kept seeing this commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams and myself. And when I would tell people, they would think I was crazy. Imagine if Don Juan were to tell you, I'm going to go be a Nike athlete. You would be like, okay, yeah, all right. Okay. What does that mean? But
all right.
But that was my dream. And I went to my business partners and I went to my artists and I told them that I have to go chase this dream. And I said, this isn't my practice life. This is my only one. And so I didn't even ask for any money. I didn't ask for a buyout. I just wanted my dream. And I left and I started running. And I ran further and I started biking. And I biked further and I lost 120 pounds. And I remember at the beginning of my journey, I was at my doctor's office and I told him what I was going to do. I believe in speaking everything that I want.
Right.
Abracadabra is an Aramaic word, and we know it as magic. But the origin of the word means, as I speak, I create. That's why they say speak it into existence. But words are spells. Words are our wand. That's why they call it spelling. So I make sure I tell everybody what I'm going to do, what my dreams are. I don't hold it in. I feel like it's devil talk saying, like, don't say anything. You're going to jinx it. No, I tell everybody. Yeah. I dream out loud. Dreams are like this magical thing that if it goes into the universe, like, it's going to come back. So I told my doctor, I said, I'm going to do an Ironman in 10 months. And he said, son, you need to set realistic goals because you're just going to disappoint yourself. And the number one thing I don't like is when somebody tells me to be realistic. A year later, I walk into his doctor's office and I'm sitting in the lobby and there's a table and there's a magazine cover of Runner's World magazine and I'm on the cover of it. And I took it into his doctor's office. I said, did you see this? And he said, I always knew you were going to be special. And the title of the magazine was Charlie Rocket Will Change Your Life. And nobody's going to understand your crazy dream, but I did that Ironman in 10 months. I lost 130 pounds. I ran 5 marathons. I biked across America. And I had a vision that I was going to be a Nike athlete. And I could not let that dream be ignored because
Okay, I got a question.
Okay, yes ma'am.
So we understand that you decided that that's what you wanted to do and you spoke it into existence, but were you using your marketing skills to put yourself out there as you were recreating yourself?
So I had deleted social media for a year when I left the music industry. And when I got back on social media, I just had a few thousand followers. And I felt like Nike needed an athlete like me. But see, like, I'm a delusional optimist. Like, I'm so delusional that I believe like my story is probably going to benefit Nike more than like an athlete who is fit,
Right.
or an athlete that can jump high or run fast. I was like, I'm a common man athlete, and this is going to sell more shoes. And so I was like, I'm going to make a fan-made Nike commercial. Nike's going to see it, and Nike's going to sign me. And I have my manifestation book, and I write this down every day, and I tell everybody what I'm going to do. And unanimously, everybody thinks I'm a little delusional.
But how were they seeing it? How did they see it?
Well, I needed to make a commercial that
Okay.
was Nike grade, that was very inspiring. The problem with this is the type of commercial I wanted to make would probably cost between $70,000 and $200,000, because I started calling up my friends in Hollywood, and they're like, Charlie, you know that's going to take like a 10-person film crew. And like on the low end, Nike commercials can cost like $2 million.
Right.
But on the low end agency side, $70,000, $200,000. I was like, I'm not spending that on an Instagram clip.
Right.
But it's like, I also can't just make an Instagram clip. I need it to be a Nike commercial, because I need Nike to see it and want to sign me. And so I'll take different meetings with different producers, and they all told me the same thing. You need to be realistic with your budget. And I was like, don't tell me to be realistic. And I took this one gentleman out to Gracias Madres in Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles, and he said the magic words that just fed me up. He said, once again, Charlie, you need to be realistic. I'm like, why is everybody telling me this? And I took my friend out of the restaurant, and I said, I don't like when people tell me to be realistic. Nothing I've done my entire life has ever been realistic. I'm going to find this person who's going to make this commercial, and I'm going to find them tomorrow. And I use this like frustration to like even speak more like emphatically about what I believe is going to happen. I'm in Santa Monica, California, sitting on my couch, writing delusionally in my manifestation notebook. Today is the day I searched/found my videographer/editor. Is done, ! Is easy, ! I'm going to be in a commercial with LeBron James, Serena Williams. I'm going to be the face of Nike. Like, I'm delusional. But the universe favors the bold.
Okay.
My roommate walks in the front door. My roommate should never have a cameraman following him. He just does business development for a goji berry company that sells goji berries to Whole Foods. And yet, behind him is this cameraman, not with a little camera, but like the biggest camera rig you've ever seen. And I'm looking at my notebook, and I'm looking at the cameraman, and I'm like, is this the most magical moment of my life? I always get blessed. But this is crazy, walking in my front door. And so I look at the cameraman, and I said, do you do video work? And the first thing out of his mouth was so negative, I was like, my heart dropped. He said, yeah, I do videos, but nobody ever pays me. And I'm like, oh God, this is not my magical moment I was expecting. I was like, can I see some of your work? He said, yeah, I haven't updated my website in like 5 years, but I was like, okay, let me just see it. But I'm like losing hope by the second. Pull up his website. He had a short film on there. If a filmmaker can make a short film, he might be a good filmmaker. So I got excited. I clicked on it, and it looked incredible. I said, did you shoot this? Yeah, I shot it. I said, who owned all this equipment? Because this isn't normal. He said, well, like, I'm kind of like a hoarder. Like, anytime I make money, like, I just buy equipment. I have lighting. I have dolly tracks. I have Steadicam rigs. I have this. I have that. I have a Blackmagic. I have this camera. I have that. I said, you have all of that. I said, who edited it? Because a lot of times the person who shoots doesn't edit in the filmmaking world. He said, well, I edited it. Now, film is all about the music. If you make an emotional film, it needs strings and it needs like Hans Zimmer, and you go hire Hans Zimmer to make a song, it's going to cost $1 million by itself. So it's like, who made this music? He said, well, I used to be in a rock band. We were on the Warped Tour 15 years ago, and the record label dropped us. I said, you made the music? Yeah, I made the music. I said, who mixed and mastered the audio of this voiceover? It was so rich and vibrant and round. He said, well, I have a studio in my bedroom. I said, who color graded this? He said, well, I taught myself Da Vinci. I said, you did all of this? I said, look at my notebook. Look, I said I was going to find you today. I said, Nike's going to see a commercial that me and you make, and Nike's going to sign me, and I'm going to be in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. He said, dude, you're crazy. I said, I know, but it's my dream. When I close my eyes, I see it. I know it's done. Time hasn't caught up yet. We sat down at a burger restaurant. He started storyboarding some stuff. I said, how much is this going to cost to make? He said, $660. I said, excuse me? $660? I said, why? He said, well, we need a 10-foot PVC pipe because I need your feet the same distance from the camera at all times. And we're going to have you run all throughout LA, but the background's going to look like it's changing. And then we're going to have like these steps that you do, and we're going to record them, and then your breath, and it's going to make a beat. And then I'm going to put in the strings about 3/4 away. And I'm like, oh my God, he's a genius. We made a fan-made Nike commercial. I uploaded it to my Instagram account. I go on a bike ride. My phone starts ringing with just different friends said, I'm going to send it to my friend at Nike. I'm going to send it to my friend at Nike. I know somebody. And it started spreading on LinkedIn and spreading on Facebook. And it just went almost viral amongst humans who wanted to see me win. And 3 days later, I'm in that living room, the same living room where I'm writing down my dreams every morning. And my phone rings. And the caller ID said Beaverton, Oregon. Hello? This is Andy Miguel from Nike. Is this Charlie Rocket? I said, yes, it is, Andy.
How people just be randomly getting your phone number?
They want to find me. I haven't ever changed my phone number for one, so that's a good thing. And you can Google my phone number. It's still on the internet from my manager days. But he said, we don't know how you did it, but you have our entire campus in a frenzy fighting over who's going to bring you here.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, all the people who thought I was crazy, all the people who, I left the music empire to chase a crazy dream. I walked away from a $15 million a year company, managing some of the biggest celebrities in the world. And Nike just called me and they said, we want to fly you to campus. They put me in a limousine. They put me in first class. They fly me to campus. People on campus are like clapping for me. And I'm like, what in the dream am I in?
Wow.
And they walked me into this conference room. And as I'm walking in this conference room around this corner, one of the employees whispered in my ear. He said, I don't know what they're up to, but it must be big because they don't even treat LeBron like this. I was like, what's going on? Because nobody's telling me. They sit me down. There's all these TVs in the room with my face on it. I feel like I'm back at a record label. And they said, you inspired us to change the direction of our company. I said, excuse me? They said, we had a marketing plan set in place and we're going to scrap it. And this commercial that you made is our new direction. They said, we can't tell you what we have planned, but we're going to give you a call. They send me home with a bunch of shoes. I then start biking across America and I started helping people everywhere I went. And when I got back from my bike ride across America, I'm running around the track. And my phone rings, and it's a gentleman by the name of Tim. He said, Charlie, are you sitting down? I said, I can be. He said, have a seat. You're about to get an email. In this email is an NDA. I said, ooh, this is going to be good. He said, also in the email is a private link. I'll give you the password over the phone. I said, okay. What is going on? He said, we need your permission before we put this out. I said, why do you need my permission? He said, none of this would have been possible without you. I sit down. I click on the link. I type in the password. And I'm looking at a commercial that had Colin Kaepernick, LeBron James, Serena Williams, and myself in it. And this commercial became the biggest Nike commercial in Nike history. Nike put out this commercial and the stock price went up $8 billion overnight. I got to be an athlete. My childhood dream, when I was a kid, I always knew that dream was real. And when I got to be a successful manager in the music industry and I was at this darkest rock bottom moment of my life, it forced me to not ignore my dream. And I didn't know how it would work out. But I got to be an athlete in my lifetime, and I feel that everybody should deserve to experience their dream And if you saw it in your eyes, it was already done. You just got to be delusional enough to not listen to anybody, because it's not their dream. They can't see what you see, but they call somebody who's delusional somebody who sees things.
Right.
But you know what? I see things, and those things are real, and the things that you see are real. And I saw myself in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams, and I got to watch myself on a Super Bowl commercial, and I got to win an Emmy. And that commercial was named after.
See, now that's my dream. I need to win the Emmy. I need to win an Oscar. And
Yes, ma'am.
I want to be on that EGOT list. So I'm just going to speak that in when you speaking stuff
Come
into
on,
existence.
absolutely,
Speak that for me.
absolutely. And it might be easy.
You said it might be easy.
What if it's easy?
Okay,
We
well,
always
how's it
think
easy?
everything's going to be hard. But why? Let me ask you a question. When you were 3 years old, was tying your shoe hard or easy? The first time?
Of course, it was hard.
It was hard. That's a very complicated process.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like, I cried trying to figure it out. But then once you do it, it's easy. So what actually is hard or easy? It's just understanding how it's done.
That is true.
So it's like I have a book coming out next year, right?
Mhm.
And I haven't written it yet. But it's going to come out November 27th.
I feel like you wrote a book while we've been sitting here.
Thank you.
You have so many just inspirational tidbits, things like taking the 2 L's and making it a W, just all of this. It's like, I feel like I'm gonna have to go through this interview after it comes out and clip it for myself to put like different words of Charlie on my wall.
Well, I think one of the biggest things that I think all of us can learn is ask for easy, because so many times we're programmed like to think if there's something big, it's going to be hard. So I'm going to have to grind, right? Like, this is our thought process. Anytime I try to do anything, I say it's going to be easy. When I get fired from Soulja Boy, I'm going to be the biggest manager. It's going to be easy. Or I want to be a Nike athlete. I'm going to make a fan-made Nike commercial. Nike's going to see it. Nike's going to sign me. Like, I have to make it easy in order for me to actually show up for it. But you get what you ask for.
Yeah.
It's like the universe is like a restaurant. If I order something, they're going to bring it to me. Well, what am I ordering? Am I ordering hard? Am I ordering grind? What if it is easy? If we just ask for it to be. But that's always been my secret for showing up, because I wouldn't even show up if I thought it was hard. I would go do something else. If I thought it was going to be impossible, I probably wouldn't do it. But I told that doctor, I was like, no, we're not going to do this Ironman. I'm going to do it in 10 months and it's going to be easy. I'm going to train like an 8-year-old. Ironmans are hard.
Okay, so now that you've accomplished that, what are you doing now?
Oh, I'm going into a whole new dream right now. So a lot of things. I do a lot of things. So I've been very fortunate. I never would have thought I had 9 million followers on social media.
Yeah.
I never would have thought I owned part of a coconut water company that was worth $120 million. One of the fastest growing beverage companies in the world.
How did you do that?
Well, a couple things. One,
What's the name of the company, by the way?
Once Upon a Coconut. And there was a day I was telling a friend of mine named Trav, I was like, I'm going to own a coconut water company, and it's going to be called Pink, because it's like when you buy like Harmless Harvest, like it's a pink color, like coconut. And I was like, okay, I'm going to own a coconut water company. I'm just telling him that. Fast forward a few months, and I'm at a Yankees game with the biggest donor of our nonprofit. His name is John. And we're sitting there, and he said, Charlie, I want to get you involved in our coconut water company that he started. And I said, I think I would actually do a really good job at being able to market this. And he gave me a really, really big like share of the company, and I put it on my back, and I got it into Sprouts, and we got it into Whole Foods, and it's in CVS, and it's in Target now, and it's one of the fastest growing. We just left New York, and it was so trippy to me because I'm in my hotel, and it's in the hotel, and I'm like, and we walk into a bodega, it's in the bodega, and I'm like, this is real. Like, we had one of the biggest beverage launches in Sprouts history. We launched at the same time in Sprouts as like a Jay Shetty and a Vanessa Hudgens, like big celebrities. And my little fan base outsold them by like 4x. Sprouts bought a 90-day supply, and in 4 days we sold out, and they bought another 90-day supply. Like, we moved so many units. But it started with me speaking about something I want, and then the universe conspired, and I'm at a Yankees game, and a gentleman who owns a coconut water company asked me to get involved. So, and then I just show up and do the work. So I have a nonprofit called the Dream Machine Foundation. We make dreams come true for kids, where actually when we leave here, there's a kid with a brain tumor in Conyers, Georgia that makes pound cake. And so we're going to go over there, buy a bunch of pound cake, and we're going to make a video and put it out to our 9 million followers and ask the whole internet to buy pound cake. And we've done this in the past, and we've been able to raise millions and millions of dollars for these kids with cancer and disabilities. But yeah, I just always try to use my platform for good, whether to inspire or to help somebody.
Yeah, I mean, so you also created a website and platform for people to share and fund their dreams. What is that?
So that's the Dream Machine Foundation. So we wanted, kind of like back in the day, I ushered in the viral era of hip hop, like with Soulja Boy. When I left the music industry, I wanted to dedicate my life to helping people. So I wanted to usher in the viral era of philanthropy. We have social media is full of like things that go viral, but what if we made things go viral where people helped this kid? I give you an example. I met a little girl in St. Louis. She has a very rare disease called CRPS, and she makes these little pig cookies because she loves pigs, and she's trying to raise money for a treatment to afford, because insurance wouldn't cover the treatment. And so we show up and we build her a cookie business. And this is all in 8 days. We built her a website, helped her design her logo, found her a manufacturer, did a pop-up. And the pop-up, over like 20,000 people showed up. Line is stretched for like 2 miles down the street. And then we launched our website. She did $400,000 in sales in 48 hours. And she was able to afford her treatment. But like, those are the things, that's the beauty of the internet. Like, I was able to make videos for my artists to make their dreams come true. And then when I left the music industry, I'm using my talents to make these kids' dreams come true.
So people always say money magnifies who you are. So in this season, what has money magnified about you?
I'll tell you, I become a much better person with more money. I don't do well with scarcity. I don't know how people become
I don't
monsters.
think I do either.
I don't know how people become monsters when they get more money. For me, it's like the opposite. When I feel afraid, it's really hard to like give love when you're in fear. Like, there's like two frequencies. There's love and then there's fear. And that's where really everything comes from. When you're in the love frequency or the fear frequency, fear is like scarcity. I don't do well there. So when I have more money, I become more giving. I become more grounded. I become more free and peaceful. I really don't understand how people become mean when they get money. I just don't understand it.
There's a lot of people like that, though.
I don't know why.
Especially you started in the music business. I'm sure you ran into a lot of them.
And they inspired me to never be like that.
What was one of the biggest donations or partnerships that you made that made you stop and say, oh my God, this is really happening?
I'll tell you, I'm going across America during the pandemic. Well, one, I'm a rule breaker. They tell us to go inside. I'm like, I'm going outside. I'm starting a tour. So pandemic, world shuts down. I sell my houses. I move into my bus and I start giving away all my money, helping kids. And I'm just like, I believe in this thing I'm building. It's like a nonprofit. It's like a business. It's just not for profit. But it's like, if I do this well enough, people are going to show up and donate with me. And yet, nobody was showing up to donate with me.
Okay.
Bank account got low. I'm in New York this week, 5 years ago. Bank account, the foundation bank account got to zero. And my manager quit. And I remember calling my mom, and it was one of those scream on the phone, punch the pillow moments. And I'm in an RV park in New Jersey, outside of New York. And it looks like this is where like a mob boss would go dump somebody into the river. Like, it was just not the ideal situation to run out of money. And I needed a blessing. So I told my camera guy and I told my intern, listen, we're going to stop the tour. We're going to go to Atlantic City. I didn't know Atlantic City was a bad place. I was like, I'm going to go get an Airbnb and we're going to go raise some money. We just need to stop the tour for a couple weeks. We go to Atlantic City, and somebody got killed next door. Like, it was like, I didn't know Atlantic City was like a very dangerous place. I thought it was nice. I had never been there before. Somebody got killed next door. So we leave, we go down the street to a little bit nicer neighborhood. And there was this church. It was a Methodist church. And outside the church was a labyrinth. Do you know what a labyrinth is?
Is that like a maze?
It's like a little maze, right? And so I like labyrinths. Like, I'm kind of like spiritual like that. So I'm in the labyrinth, and I'm like praying to God for like a miracle. And so like I'm walking and my eyes are closed, and I saw something. I saw a $500,000 donation, and we had never gotten anything like that before. Mm-hmm. And so I started dancing. And like I told my camera guy, and I told my intern, I was like, come on, let's just act as if we already got 500,000. Like, let's feel what it feels like, because I saw it, so I know it's real. Mm-hmm. So we're dancing and we're walking around the labyrinth. And if you were looking at us from a car, you would thought we're some crazy grown men. Like, what are they doing over there? Mm-hmm. And we go back to the Airbnb. I'm making phone calls, just trying to call like rich people I know to get some donations. We got a couple $1,000s in. And then I get an email from a company, and I don't know this company, but I know who they are, but I don't know them. But they emailed me, and it was a lady named Jen from Hasbro, the toy company. And she said, we want to donate to y'all's mission. And I told my cameraman and my intern, I was like, this is the 500,000. I know it. I saw it. Now we got an email, because I'm expecting miracles at this point in my life. I've experienced so many. I'm expecting them. That's why they keep coming. So I'm like, this is the 500,000. We get on a Zoom call the next morning, and she says, this is the big moment where I know she's going to say 500,000. And she says, we want to donate $50,000. And that's like the biggest donation we've ever gotten.
Missing a zero.
But like, I'm like disappointed and happy at the same time, because I'm like, but I saw 500. Why is this only 50? And she's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, oh, no. Like, I'm grateful. Like, trust me, I'm grateful. The next day, she emails and she said, we want to get on a phone call, because we had another meeting internally, and a department wanted to get involved in this campaign for Christmas with you guys. She said, we want to donate $150,000 now. And I'm like, okay. And then the next day, she emails and she said the higher ups really like this idea of what y'all are doing. And they said they want to scrap the entire influencer budget that they had allocated. And they want to direct all those funds to this mission. $450,000.
That's crazy.
I saw it in the labyrinth.
I
saw it.
Where is this labyrinth?
No,
and how can I go? I need to see.
It's in
what's about to
us.
come for me.
It's in us. That's the labyrinth. We are the labyrinth. If we close our eyes and we see something and we need a blessing, if we see it, I'm just crazy enough to believe it's going to happen. I'm crazy enough to stand in that labyrinth and start dancing as if it's real. I need to feel it. I need to live it and be it in that moment, because I know it's real if I see it. I don't need my eyes open to see. Most people say, if I see it, I'll believe it. No, I can see it with my eyes closed. And so, like, that was a miracle that happened that changed everything for our nonprofit. And we've gone on to raise millions and millions of dollars and help thousands and thousands of kids. And so, like, that I just really hope like little stories like this inspire people to like really, really trust what they see, and trust their heart and trust their instinct, and just be delusional enough to believe that it's coming.
Finish this sentence.
Okay.
If my story teaches you one thing, it's that
you need to be delusional. For real. That's the secret ingredient, and people are kind of afraid to talk about it. But like, no, like, that's my secret ingredient.
Okay. I believe ya. Hey, what's up, guys? We are about to do our rapid fire questions with Charlie Rocket exclusively on Patreon. All right, so I want to do this rapid fire round.
Okay, this is fun.
Okay, here we go. What's your biggest fear today?
Dying before I got to experience everything. Ooh. And that's like a very scarce place to live, but like, I'm such a dreamer. Like, I'm really afraid that like I'm not going to get to the end of my life, like, because I really imagine myself as an old man who could tell some really amazing stories. Like, I really want to be this like fictional character named Forrest Gump. He's like so inspirational. Like, he like ran across America, and he had a shrimp company, and everything he did, he was so successful, and yet he was a little special. But he was in the army. He saved people. He was a football player and was the best.
Right.
But he was just special. And I'm like, I want to be him. Like, I'm not special, but like, I'm also not like the most sophisticated person. I'm just crazy. And so I want to get to the end of my life and be able to tell stories on a park bench like he did. That's what I want.
By the way, what happened to the tumor?
So it was able to shrink. So very blessed. I went vegan. I went plant-based. I got all the stress out of my life. I got all the inflammation out of my life. And brain tumors on the pituitary gland. So like my HPA axis and cortisol and how I'd eat. As a binge eater, I would only eat like gas station food. Like, I would binge on, I would drive to that one because it had the Mrs. Fields cookies, and I would drive to this is all in one night, and then I'll drive to this gas
about the lemon cookies.
and I would eat 15,000 calories in a night. So I'm eating all this processed fake food that I was so addicted to, and I would eat so much that like the next morning I would wake up and my skin would be bruised because I would expand so much. And I'm feeding my body toxicity. And it's like, our body can heal, but like if we have a cut and like we put dirt on it, it's not gonna heal. We put clean water and soap, it can heal that cut. So for me, I needed to eat living food in order to live. Real food, not like machines touching it. I needed to eat real food, and my body was able to balance, and my brain tumor was able to shrink.
No, praise him. Okay. Who grounds you when everything gets loud?
My girlfriend.
Hey.
She's the sweetest angel that's come into my life.
Awesome. What's one daily practice that keeps you balanced?
I dream, which like I don't write in my notebook every day. I don't do almost anything every day. I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. I'm not that guy. But I dream every day. I go to the future every day. And balance for me is the future. It's not the present. The present is always out of balance for me. But for me to feel balanced, I have to go to the future. And it's this beautiful, peaceful place of everything I've ever wanted. And the more I'm there, the more I feel good today.
If you could redo one business move in your career, what would it be?
One business move? One business move. If I could redo. I don't think I'll redo anything in my life. Everything was perfect. All the bad stuff that happened was still good.
Okay.
I mean, I think everything that's happened to me was perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Because like I said earlier, like, I'm very grateful for the bad stuff. I'm grateful for my brain tumor. I'm grateful for any business that failed, any firing, anything. Like, how could we even say any of that was bad? Because I can disarm something that's bad immediately by giving it gratitude. And then it's like, okay, wouldn't it be really fun living a life not being mad at anything?
True.
Like, I'm tired of being mad. Like, so I just want to be happy.
Okay, in one sentence, what's your mission right now?
In one sentence, I would say my mission is to get other people just closer to their dreams. And if I could do that I'm on the second sentence. I just want y'all to have y'all's dreams. I want y'all to have y'all's dreams. That's all I want.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Charlie.
you.
This is very inspirational. I feel like I said, I feel like I learned a lot from this conversation. You know, I got a lot of quotes. You got a lot of quotes that need to be on a t-shirt, actually. Definitely need to bring that merch company into effect for this. But thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking about what you've been doing.
Thank you for having me on. And I do want to just say this, like, a lot of times I'll go on podcasts and because I do have a mission to inspire, but a lot of times, like, there's a lot of people in my life, they don't go on podcasts. So they don't get the credit that I get. But there's so much credit that has to be given in my life to my business partners, Tech and Al, and all the employees, and my artists. Like somebody like
You still
2
working with
Chainz.
artists?
No,
Oh, okay.
I walked away 8 years ago, but I do mentor a lot. I do like consult. Like I love giving back to the game. But like 2 Chainz changed my life. Travis Porter changed my life. Young Dolph changed my life. Bankroll Fresh changed my life. Like, so yes, I love inspiring. I love teaching, but there's so much credit that needs to go to the people that won't go on to a podcast and talk as well, because they deserve as much credit as I have. So I'm very grateful for everybody in my life who's helped shape me.
Yeah. Okay, so please tell the people what you got coming up next, and how can they follow you? So
on November 27th, next year, I'm going to release my book, and I'm going to release a classic. I'm manifesting it right now. I see it. Like when I close my eyes, I see it. I see a book that like looks like a vintage book. It's not going to have like a cover like this with the paper. It's going to look like a classic. It's going to be called Winning Streak. Mastering the Art of Delusional Optimism. And I tell all these amazing stories that by the time you're done reading this book, you are ready to chase your dreams and believe that it's going to be easy and you're actually going to show up. And it's going to be this orange color, and it's going to come out on November 27th, and I'm going to sell 30 million copies because I see it. I see it.
Y'all heard the man. Now it's time to make it happen. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Everybody give it up. And how do they follow you? I don't think you said that.
Instagram is my favorite place, at Charlie on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you. And thank you for watching Speak On.